Hey, this is a toolbox that belonged to my grandfather on my father's side. It's pretty beat up. Let's see if we can't get this cleaned up. I believe somebody had told me that this was probably Bakelight. I'm not exactly sure how to repair this or do anything, and I've done a little bit of research, but I have to figure out how to get this looking better. Alright, so the box is cleaning up pretty good. I missed a couple spots here and there, but I'm really not too worried about that. I can come back and get that with some light sandpaper later on. You know, some of these things, I'm going to leave this piece of wire on there. You know, it's just, I'm not trying to make this thing look exactly new. I'm just trying to keep it from disintegrating any further than it already has. So, this, like I said earlier, I think is Bakelight. And I don't have any sort of material that I think would be, I don't know, I just can't sort of figure my way around a good way to repair this and have it be sort of, you know, at least usable. What I'm thinking is that instead of trying to emulate this exact material, I think maybe what I'm better off doing is you know, adding a piece of wood in here and contouring this inside edge, and then I can come through and put some sort of maybe epoxy or glue or something like that that will sort of hold this together and actually give some rigidity to this box and keep this bottom from getting any worse. And I think it might actually look alright. So let me cut that and see how this works out. Alright, so this is that my grandfather's toolbox that I was cleaning up. The solution that I chose, you know, adding the wood here, I mean, I can sort of try to explain everything away, but I think this is probably something realistic. I think this is something somebody might do on the job, or, you know, they just sort of make do with what they have to fix it, and the ability for me to come back and maybe add Kydex into this and heat it up and vacuum form it and do all that other stuff. You know, the odds of this thing ever getting used again is probably pretty slim. It might be a good little box to throw in the truck or something like that, but who knows? But I think this is more than a sufficient solution for it. And I had bought some relatively high, I think it's the high durometer rubber, really good stuff, and I was going to line the box with it, but it didn't seem to have sort of the rigidity that I was hoping for. And I had one of the old cutting mats on here, so this old blue mat, and I decided to cut it up, and then I've got this urethane liquid glue. This has got relatively good reviews, and it's something, I mean, they keep likening it to, you know, being as strong as epoxy and whatnot. So anyway, we'll see. This actually requires a little bit of moisture for it to set, so for those of you guys in the desert, might not be what you want. But anyway, I've got the cutting mat glued down in here. That's why I have the vise and this axe head, just to add a little bit of weight to this. But the finish, I had attempted to use like a 50-50 mix of muriatic acid and water to take the rust off of here, because the muriatic acid didn't seem to affect the Bakelight. But so hot out here that I was just using a spray bottle, and anyway, it wasn't staying on long enough. It was working a little bit, but I probably needed to dunk this, and I'm not sure how resistant the leather or the Bakelight, for that matter, how that would hold up in a submerged bath of muriatic acid. So anyway, I put it in the media blaster, blasted all the corners on it, and actually dusted the surface itself. And there was somebody had tried to repair it with duct tape on the back, so I blasted all that old dry adhesive off of it. And I sort of goofed around with some different types of, of cleaning solvents and solutions. I tried the Brasso just for sport. The Neverdull sort of worked okay. But then I found that just a blue towel, one of those shop towels, and some clear paste wax seemed to give a pretty good finish on this thing. It's quite a bit nicer than it used to be. And then in terms of the metal hardware, to keep it from rusting in the future, I mean, not only does it have the paste wax on it, but then just for good measure, I gave it another shot of this silicone. So hopefully this should remain relatively rust-free and be largely functional and not have stuff falling out the bottom anymore. And but I'm going to give this epoxy 6 or 7 hours to dry before I take everything out of it. And this is sort of a stopgap, or just sort of an intermediary thing. I wanted to get some content up on the channel because I haven't posted anything in over a week because I'm still working on the surface grinder. I'm waiting on parts, and it's coming along pretty well, but until I get parts, I really can't move forward. And the next step, not that it really matters, is what's going to be really interesting is I've got a make-your-own V-belt, and that'll be interesting to some people. I think it is to me. So anyway, that's forthcoming. Hopefully I'll get that up tomorrow. And anyway, so that's it for this little box. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I hope you're having a good weekend.